I'm going to be trying a different style by making these videos to showcase the content that I make rather than simply writing different texts, because I think this is a better way of connecting with people than simply writing different text and blogs about the different work that I'm doing, because this comes at a time when at the same time it's easier to connect to anyone, but we're also less connected. So I think these videos would be a really good way to connect with people while also showcasing my work. So today I'm going to be showing off one of the apps that I initially made, which is PharmaFinder, which allows you to view every pharmacy statistics in Ontario, as well as the languages and how many pharmacists are working at that location. So the way that you're able to view this information is if you go to Visit My Portfolio website, and then you go down and then see PharmaFinder Ontario. I also did Android, iOS, and all those. But if you go to the desktop version, which is PharmaFinder ON, and click that link, then it loads up here. And once it's loaded up, you can actually see all the individual pharmacies in Ontario. So for example, this is Toronto, and you can see that there's a Rexall, Shoppers Drug Mart, the phone, the fax, the dispenser fee, the location, and all of this information. And this is all of Ontario, and you can see exactly where you are. Now, on the desktop version, you can also GPS locate to where you are, and this works for sure on the mobile versions. On the desktop versions as well. Oh, it also works. So, that is not my actual location since I'm using a VPN, but you can see all of the different pharmacies are available. Now, I want to show you some of the different settings as well. So if you go to FSA, you can actually see on a geographical level what's the pharmacy density, and also you can see information about what kind of pharmacy, what's the coverage of the pharmacy, what's the population, what's the landmass, and you can also see on a color scale where the most dense pharmacies are based on the population. So as you can see, Toronto's most dense because it's red, which makes sense. And all the other major cities are also the most dense as well. So for example, if you go to Hamilton, you can see Hamilton is red. Now, another setting is you can see what's the distribution of these FTEs, or full-time equivalents of these pharmacists, by going to community, hospital, or industry stratification. So once again, the map looks the same, but in this setting, you can actually see that, in this geographical region, it's mostly community, hospital, other, and what's the total FTEs there. So for example, if you go to downtown Toronto, you can see that there's a lot of hospital FTEs, which makes sense because that's where Mount Sinai, Toronto General, and all the other hospitals are located. And so if you go to the SpeakSex language, you can also find pharmacies that speak the desired language. So for example, if you're looking for pharmacists that speak German, then you can click this setting, and then it shows you the pharmacists that speak German. Let's go Finnish here. Not a lot of Finnish, but if you go to French, there's a lot of French pharmacies. So at the same time, you can also go to Mandarin, and you can see where all the Mandarin speaking pharmacies are located, or pharmacists that speak Mandarin that work in these pharmacies. And then the more red a dot indicates a higher percentage of the pharmacists working there that speak that language. So for example, you can see that a lot of pharmacies, especially in Markham, have a high percentage of pharmacists speaking Mandarin. And then you can also find the qualifying education. So this is similar to the setting as SpeakSex language, but in this setting, you're able to see pharmacists who have received qualifying education from a country. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that they speak the language, because they can have received their qualifying education from, say, China, but at the same time, they don't speak that language. So this might be useful if you're looking for more varied information. So this is again available all over Ontario, and especially useful for people outside Toronto who want to find their pharmacies or any other pharmacy that you want.